As we all sit here in October of 2020, woefully missing our vacations and movies, it's becoming more and more clear that board games may just save humanity, or at least our sanity. Ravensburger has graced GLHF Studios with their newest title, Disney Jungle Cruise, a roll-and-move set collection game for 2 to 4 players from designer collective Prospero Hall. Based on the long-running Disney theme park ride, Jungle Cruise aims to alleviate a little bit of your FOMO by bringing the ride to you. Does it sail, or is it better left to the experts? Let's open the box and find out. Past the lightly spot-glossed cover art, we'll find the game's quad-fold board with a welcome letter from President Alberta Falls on the top. The board itself has a really nice feel to it unfolded on the table, with clear paths through the jungle. Back inside the box, we have the instructions, which are pretty well organized and detailed, though there are a couple of sections that left me with some gameplay questions. There's an insert channel to house the game's tokens, which we aren't given baggies for. There was a baggie that held the boat placards, but that only keeps all the tokens together and not organized. The card slot here gives you enough room to sleeve them and is sized correctly to allow you to pull them all out at once without 1 or 2 staying behind. These injected plastic boat movers are the highlight of the components, and we're also given some cool looking but slightly smaller than average dice. Let's set this one up and I'll take you on a fantastic voyage. We're set up here for a 3-player game, and the object is to as safely as possible, guide your passengers through the jungle and deliver them to the company headquarters where Alberta Falls awaits. She's awaiting some more than others, though, as she's ready to hand over the company to a specific family. The more of those passengers you deliver, as denoted by the icons on their tiles, the more you'll be rewarded in points. With 4 families to choose from, how will you know which are the Hatfields and which are the McCoys? Fear not, Captain Tightpants. Clues have been left scattered around the jungle for you to find. You'll need to make your journey a little bit longer to find them, but by stopping off at these locations, you'll be able to rule out which families are likely to have good news at the end of their 45-minute to an hour tour. On your turn, you're going to start by rearranging your passengers and cargo, if you have any, on your boat. There are 4 sections, and each section can only hold 3 tiles, so choose wisely. They're all in danger. You'll roll the game's movement die and then move that many spaces down the river. If you come to an outpost or clue location, you must end your turn's movement there. You're now going to draw 4 cards off the top of the navigation deck and resolve as many of them as spaces you actually moved. If you rolled a 4 but could only move 2 spaces before you were forced to stop at, say, an outpost, then you'll only resolve 2 cards. They're almost universally bad for your fearless friends, forcing you to roll some number of peril dice and then lose passengers or cargo from the indicated section based on how many exclamation points you rolled. If the indicated section is empty, then that's good. You can't lose what you don't have. If the cost of your hubris was a bit too high, you can always fire off your warning flare and re-roll the dice you'd like to have a better outcome. If you landed on an outpost, not only do you get to restock your flare gun, but you can also take a cargo or previously lost passenger and return them to an empty spot on your boat. If you stopped at a clue space, you can look at the clue token, Cloaken, there, which will tell you one of the family names that isn't going to inherit the company. You can then deprioritize saving them in later hazards because, as it turns out, that in the jungle, some lives are indeed worth more than others. If you landed on a simple empty space in the river, all is not lost. If you've got an empty space on your boat, and let's be honest, you probably do, then you can take a lost and found token, reveal it, and then gain either some cargo or a found passenger. Around and around the table you'll go like this until you reach the end of the trip. The first player there gets a tip, a 3-point token. If they're there early enough, every time it's their turn again, they can take another token of decreasing value until everyone arrives. If you're super late, you'll get no tips. Once all the tip tokens are gone, everyone's magically whisked into the HQ, and we find out who the lucky family is. Every member of that family that you've successfully brought home gets you 5 points, whereas other family members are worth a lowly 3. Cargo will get you 10 points if you managed a whole set of 3, 4 points for a set of 2 different cargo, and 1 for every other good you've secreted home. And that's it. The player with the most points wins. I'll start with what works. This is a great introductory game for kids or families who are tired of standard kid games. Families who are familiar with the Disney ride will also likely love it. There's the familiar feeling of roll and move, as well as lots of passengers falling off the boat and then getting back on. The set collection with the cargo is fine, with only 3 different types. Each outpost has 3 cargo at the game's start, one of each type, so you'll know what you're after and won't be competing with other players for goods. Gamers looking for a little more of a fun experience could do my personal homebrew rule. You take 4 each cargo token, shuffle them all up, and then without looking, place 3 at each outpost space. Now you don't know who took what, and more importantly, you're in an actual race for them at each location. Also, the game rules require that you read each of the little jokes on each card as you encounter them, and they're cute the first time. It's definitely got a heavy feel of the bad jokes you'd hear on the ride, and there's blissfully no repeats across the cards. What didn't work for me, unfortunately, was that in our house of 3, none of us are familiar with the ride, and gameplay wasn't enough to hold my 6-year-old's attention over the course of the game. I think if this one were a 30-minute affair, it'd be just about perfect. At 45 to an hour, if you're playing with 4 people, it drags just enough for me to be checking my watch. The constant roller coaster as you dump passengers and cargo only to fish them out of the water moments later is neat, but ultimately I wanted either just a little bit more to do or less real estate to cover. I think this could be a decent choice for the right family though, so as always, your nautical mileage may vary. While the set collection is simple and the art is delightful, Disney Jungle Cruise left me wanting just a little bit more, or less. Let's go through our checklist before I give you my final thoughts. In the box, rulebook clear and non-gender pronouns. There are a couple of rules that are unclear from the rulebook, which is odd given how much attention Ravensburger usually pays to gameplay. Still, endgame scoring is clear, and for the most part, this is a pretty simple affair. The rulebook uses second-person you and your pronouns throughout to denote the player. Iconography clear. The 3 types of cargo are clearly distinctive from each other, and while it's thematically unclear why some of the passengers have 2 family affiliations, the icons depicting which ones you need to pay attention to are easily determined. Packaging well done. Not at all. While Ravensburger loves to use 4 circular stickers to seal their boxes rather than shrink wrap, they usually provide enough inside the box for me to overlook that annoyance. In Jungle Cruise, not only do I have to be extra careful removing the stickers, but once I finally get inside, I find that I don't have enough baggies to neatly house the massive amount of cardboard tokens. Overall, it's disappointing. On the table. Good representation. Of the 48 passenger tokens, there's an even split between men and women at 24 each. Of the 24 men, only 6 are people of color, while of the 24 women, there are 14 people of color. Component quality, medium. The cargo and passenger tokens are thicker than most punch-out cardboard I've come across, and the ship movers are big, chunky, injected plastic. The cards and boat placards are the same cardstock, which is just okay. The dice feel smallish, but look nice, and some of the art is reused across a couple tokens. Replay value, medium. Deducing which of the families you need to protect is going to change each game, but there's only 80 navigation cards and you're drawing 4 of those every turn. The 6-player power cards will keep things fresh for a little while as well. Fun to lose. In my opinion, Disney Jungle Cruise needs to be about 10 to 15 minutes shorter, and then I'd say yes. At an hour or so for the 3 to 4 player counts, it feels long to lose at the end. Still, families with younger kids could love the Disney theming, and if those kids don't mind losing a close game, as scores are generally pretty tight, then it could be fine. Disney Jungle Cruise is a miss for me, but I can see where some might really get into it. I'm honestly just as surprised at this result as you are, as Ravensburger and Prospero Hall have really been killing it lately in their licensed games. Our channel has reviewed Jaws and Villainous, and both come in as better options for me. Families wisely avoiding the theme park crowds could certainly revel in a little bit of nostalgia, but for my money, it's just a bit too samey and a bit too long. I'm Nicholas, reminding you to help protect the game population. Always leave your cards. Hey everyone, if you liked our video, please hit that sub button and ring that bell for notifications. Check out all of our other offerings at goodluckhighfive.com, and please consider becoming a patron of the channel over at patreon.com/GLHFmagic. It helps us keep making reviews, videos, podcasts, and you can become a member for any dollar amount. We're also always looking for new games to review. You can reach us at glhfmagic@gmail.com. You can follow me, Captain N the Game Master, at CaptainNGM on Twitter and Instagram, and follow the channel at GLHFmagic. Remember, please shop at your local game store whenever possible. Until next time, I'm Nicholas, and good luck. High five.